Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is A Little Dove 22 and today we are doing a Sims 4 challenge where we use a random number generator so that we're able to figure out how much money we have for each room. To set this up, I wrote my minimum budget to be 5,000 and my maximum budget to be 10,000, and the house specs are 2 bedrooms and 1 bath with the study and laundry room. So you see here I'm working on the first room, and the random number generator gave me 7,046 simoleons to work with here. So the budget for this bedroom is going to be 7,046 simoleons. Now, in hindsight, I feel like this was a very fun project or challenge, and I would definitely do it again, and I recommend that you do it too, because it also opens your eyes on how expensive some things are in The Sims. Like, in the kitchen part, I was really excited to be using the most expensive for appliances, but then I realized that I couldn't afford that. Same with the living room when I was going for a TV. Anyway, I feel like I was pretty set with this price tag for the bedroom, for example, because I was on the higher end of my budget because I was at 7,000 and the budget's max is at 10,000 and the minimum's at 5,000. So I think I was pretty set because there's not much you could do for a bedroom. In hindsight, maybe for the living room and the study and kitchen, maybe I would have increased the budget so that I would have been able to buy the appliances that are better, or the TV that is better, or because I wasn't able to get a computer here, which you'll see later on, further on. So I'm almost done here with the bedroom. I wanted it to be a little masculine because I made a random sim to be on the slot, and he was a dude, so I was like, why not make it a little masculine bedroom? I really liked how it turned out. I was really proud of myself. I didn't really have high expectations going into this, and I would say this is probably one of my greater builds in terms of for a bedroom, especially since I was on somewhat of a budget. Okay, so now the next room. So you already see I changed my amount of simoleons I had. So the amount for the second room I got was 7,285. So this one is higher than the first bedroom. Now, I still wanted to keep around the same color palette. I didn't want things to be all crazy and out of whack. So I ended up making the bedroom kind of green, or I made it green themed. I wanted to stick with the cool colors because I feel like it would just be weird if I had a bright orange bedroom right next to the blue one. I wanted to kind of keep it the same. This one's a more feminine bedroom. I don't know. I just like to add variety when it comes to houses. So I'm working on it here. An interesting thing about for this room specifically is that this one I struggled a lot more than the other room because I didn't want to repeat the same kind of style from the other room, so I wanted to do something different. So instead of putting bookshelves, I decided to add a speaker instead of bookshelves on the side because I realized it kind of was the same as the other room. Plus I couldn't find anything that would fit, and there's going to be a study, so there's going to be a bunch of bookshelves in there too, so I wasn't that concerned. For the most part, other than that, I feel like this room went pretty well. I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, there was a budget problem. So the point of this challenge is also to try to spend all the simoleons, right? So this was really hard because I ended up wanting to add some miscellaneous items on top of the wardrobe, and then I came across these really nice curtains, which you'll see at the end of this, and I could only afford one, so I wanted to have 2 so that it would be balanced out. So I ended up having to sell the 2 miscellaneous items that I had there, and then that ended up keeping me me having a lot more money than I wanted to by the end. So I ended up just throwing a wreath on the wall. Here, oh, that's the curtain. Those are the curtains that I wanted. I felt like that looked really cool, so I ended up deleting or selling those to be able to get those. And then I just smacked that wreath right on the wall. Yeah. Okay, so the next room that I moved on to is the bathroom. So this is the only bathroom in the house, so I wanted it to be really nice, and luckily the number generator had good news for me because I had a budget of 8,412 simoleons. I did struggle to figure out what I wanted this like bathroom, like I wanted the look to be like, especially with the floor. Like the walls, I feel like are easier to like, you just pick one. It just, the floor is hard to make it match. And I ended up going for one of the marble floors from, I believe it's Get Famous. Wait, I'll see quickly. It's gonna pop up soon, no? Oh, okay, yeah. So I did get the one from Get Famous, which is one of the more expensive ones, but I didn't really have any problem with money, so it wasn't a big deal. Here I am. I decided to make it blue themed too. I just feel like for the bathrooms, there always are a lot more things that are blue. And I decided to go for more of a luxury thing. As you can see, I added a hot tub. And then I wanted to separate because I wanted to add a regular shower just for like quick, for your Sims, for the functionality basically. And I wanted to somehow separate the shower from the toilet, because I believe in having like a kind of toilet closet, which is separated from your shower, just for the separation sake. I mean, no one wants to just see a toilet, you know. It didn't end up looking how I envisioned it, but I wasn't mad with how it turned out. So you'll probably see me do that. See, I put a wall to divide it, and then I moved it out so that there would be room to walk out, but then I realized that the toilet would be too close to the door. And so I ended up moving the wall back and switching around where the toilet was. I really liked how I ended up decorating this bathroom. I always love having overly decorated rooms, because when you play with your Sims, it just feels really nice. And most times when I do have decorated rooms, it's mostly in the build mode for manage worlds, so I don't have funds. So this was a little fun twist where I would have a certain amount of funds, but when I'm playing The Sims, like actually while I'm having a job and getting money, I don't think any of my houses have been like this decorated, because I never have the funds to do so. So this was a little fun activity for me to do, and it was eye-opening. I've also started to get mess around with the bb.move objects cheat on The Sims. As you saw, I did on the hot tub there. I didn't know that was a thing until I saw Little Simsy do it. She's my inspiration for this video, by the way. I always love watching her Sims content, and she's the one who got me started into doing builds, and she's the inspiration behind this video, because I've always kind of wanted to do a little mini YouTube thing in relation to Sims, because I like building builds and I like sharing them. This by far isn't my most popular one, but it's funny because this is ironic. So the builds that I end up disliking the most are the ones that get the most downloads and likes in the gallery. Here, you see me put the television there. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. So the budget for the living room was $9,853. So once again, we're on the higher end. I feel like I got very lucky with this challenge, but I'm now kind of realizing, like in hindsight, maybe I should have made the minimum a lot smaller, because it's not like I made the rooms like absurdly big, right? And walls I thought they would cost a lot more than they ended up being, but that's just a mental note for the next time I do this, because I do plan on doing this again. Here I am setting out the layout of the living room. I didn't end up liking how it looked, and I changed it up a bit, because I just didn't like the fact, like with the 3-person couches, there's a door behind it. I don't know. I just knew if that was a setup that was in person, it would make me feel uncomfortable. I feel like that couch needs to be against the wall, especially since the 2-person sitter couch is like by the front door. So I ended up changing the door to the first bedroom where it is. I didn't buy anything or sell anything from that room. I just moved things around in the first room. So technically I didn't do anything wrong with the challenge by doing that. Oh yeah, this is me browsing through the miscellaneous items. There's some items that I didn't know existed, like I'm gonna come across like a boot rack and a coat rack, which I love that. I didn't know that was in there, so I ended up adding those next to the door just because I felt like that was really cute. So, but I think they ended up glitching the door later on in the video, as you'll see, so I had to move them a little bit to the side, but they're still there. But yeah, and here's me rearranging the room so that it works, and I put it against the wall. I ended up liking how it looked there. And as you could see, that wall, this wall on the left right here, or up front, it's completely blank, and I did that on purpose because I know I'm probably going to delete the wall, and I do delete the walls later. I knew I was going to have to delete the wall later because of the kitchen, and I'm really big on open space kind of houses where the kitchen goes to the living room, so there's like the nice flow. So I wanted to leave that blank, I guess. That'd be fine. So there was a waste of money there in that perspective, but I didn't have a problem budget wise. So once again, I feel like I should put the minimum a lot lower now in hindsight, because this wasn't necessarily a struggle. In fact, I feel like it was a little too easy. I feel like it would have been funny if I just had to make a bathroom with 1,000 small. I'll have to see what the minimum the minimum that is still functional requirement is. So I'll have to mess around with that on my own. So yeah, I'm putting things on the walls, and I was struggling to figure out what painting I wanted behind the fireplace. So I ended up putting that bland one, and I still don't really like it. It just seems like out of place, but I just kind of just let it be. And that's the first time I've actually used that like coffee table before. I sized it down just because I felt like it was like too big. Like for the space, it looked bigger for the space. And then I wanted to put cute mail on like on the table, and I ended up deleting it later because it literally just looked gross and mucky. Like, look at that. I thought it would be just like a cute stack on the table, so I ended up deleting it. There's me struggling putting the tissue box on the coffee table. Oh, this is so entertaining. And as you could tell, I'm pretty indecisive with what direction I want things to face. You're going to see that again soon. I'll make sure to point it out. But for some reason, every time I want to rotate something, I just spam rotate. Okay, so the next room is the study, and the budget I have for the study is 6,239 simoleons. Uh-oh. My game... Oh, I thought it was frozen. Looks like I made a mistake while editing. Oh well. This is my first video, by the way, so please bear with me. I hope it will only improve from now. I ended up having to switch from multiple softwares, and honestly, I'd recommend this one out of all of them. I forgot the name. Just because it's easy, Video Pad, just because it's the easiest to use, and the other ones kept having problems. Like, okay, I used Da Vinci or something like that, and that one was really good. It's just my computer's not like meant to be running those big things, so it ended up crashing, and I kept losing all the editing. So this is honestly, this is my I think my 4th time recording this, so you know what they say, 4th time's the charm, right? I just hope that's the case. This one seems to be the best out of all of them. Like, the frame rate is not that bad, and it doesn't look to be blurry, so I'm really happy about that. Anyways, so here's me doing the study, and I was kind of struggling with the layout because, as you see, it's kind of thin, and I end up changing it. I bring the wall out a bit. See, that's the rotation thing. I don't know why. It can only face like one of 2 ways. So like I think I just like to spam it for whatever reason. I will say a problem I had with this room was with the archway. Like, I didn't know if I wanted it to be a 1 or 2, like 2 thing entryway. I ended up settling for 1 just because it didn't interfere with the bookcases as much, and it kind of matched the door frames from the other room, so I ended up keeping it a consistent, but for now, keyword for now, consistent for now. See, this is where I was saying I had trouble with the computers because I didn't have enough money to buy any of them. So I feel like this would have been really fun if the budget was bigger, or like, I feel like it should have been more extreme, and I've said that like 50 times now. Also, I wanted to keep a little chair in the study because I feel like it's always like fun because Sims love to talk. So once again, there's like a max of 4 players that could probably play in this because it's their queen bed or king bed, so 2 people per bed. So usually they like to talk to each other. So if someone's sitting at the desk doing work, someone can just sit at the little chair next to it, read a book. Plus, yeah, I'm hoping that it will divide the clutter because you know how Sims are, leaving junk everywhere. I don't want them bringing their books all the way down to the living room and all that, you know. So I ended up making this a kind of I ended up really liking the way this office turned out. Like it was something that I was quite proud of, if I do say so. I would like it a lot. I feel like it's an idea or like kind of style I will try to replicate in my future builds, but I still want to expand my knowledge and I want to experiment a bit, but I feel like it's always fun just to like, because this was new. I don't think I've ever done a little office room like this. Typically my offices are just literally indents in the master bedroom, so I thought this was really cool. Or it's like a really big study and it has like a bunch of skill-based things. That's another thing about this house. This house ends up having like a lot more room for skill-based things. Oh, okay, here we are. Here I am gonna work on the kitchen, and I'm using the kitchen budget to do the laundry room wall. So I know I like messed up there. I didn't realize it until later on. I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. But like at the same time, I couldn't really envision the plan that I was trying to do without the walls being there. So I'm angry at myself, yes, but like it ended up working out in the end. So and I ended up doing it, you'll see later, but I ended up doing a kind of naughty thing at the end with this challenge. But oh yeah, so the budget for the kitchen is 9,237 simoleons, which I think is really lucky. Once again, it's at like the higher end of the budget, so I feel like I definitely got very lucky with this. And I didn't realize how expensive counters were. Like I'm just like placing them willy-nilly, and then all of a sudden like I'm down, like I don't have any of the appliances, right? And so then when I started placing the appliances, I was like, oh my gosh, those are expensive. So see, that's the most expensive one I wanted, and I ended up choosing against it just because I was like, oh no, this is really expensive. See, I got down to 2,000 and I didn't even get the windows and up and all that. Another thing I dislike about the windows in The Sims, and the counters, it's when they interfere with each other. Like that just annoys me so much because I want to have natural light in the kitchen, right? But it just annoys me the fact that like the windows aren't really made to be in the kitchen. Like you have to get for the really small windows for the kitchen because they interfere with the counters if not. And these ones still kind of do, but it's not as bad in my opinion. Here we are putting up the cabinets. So, and another thing that's odd about The Sims is the coloration of the cabinets. Like the bottom drawers or the counters don't really match the brown in the cabinets, and I think it's just because it's probably due to the lighting, but I just wish it was more concise. I ended up putting a cute little broom in the kitchen just because I thought that just kind of added like hominess to it. That's why I kind of like about the miscellaneous items. It adds a lot more hominess to it, whereas, and it would have been different if this was a modern house. I probably wouldn't have added like those little touches because modern houses always are like squeaky clean, no form of any personal touch, just art and like clean straight lines. You want it to be sleek. And yeah, I forgot to put the painting, or yeah, the wallpaper for the kitchen. So that was pretty funny. I think I ended up selling something. I don't remember what I sold, but I sold the plant to be able to buy the wallpaper. Okay, so now onto the laundry room, which is our final room in this house. It is, I got the random number of 6,883 simoleons. And honestly, that was like overkill for this, because all you really need in a laundry room is the washer, dryer, and the hamper. That's all you need. But it was fun to add the cute little like additions to make it like cute and aesthetically pleasing. That's why I added the double archway so that you'd be able to see it, because I feel like the laundry set like pack always is like very cute. It's not something you want to hide away behind a closed door, right? But in real life, you would definitely have a door in your laundry room. So there we are. I finished the laundry room and I added a window and ended up having to change things because of the window, but I finished the whole house, and with the extra money that I had, I decided to add a little like mini dining set with the tiny living little table. I really love that table, but it annoys me that it doesn't just pop up with the other tables. Like, I know it's a high-rise table, but I just wish it just still popped up so you didn't have to do like a specific search for it. So there's me finishing it up with the extra things, and I kind of like the way I touched it up because it was added a little spunk of color. You could end up getting rid of it because I know there's a lot of seating at the island, and you can use it for like a skill area. And so the door kept glitching. This is what I was talking about earlier. It kept glitching because of the miscellaneous items near it, so I ended up having to move it around. Here's me working on the front porch with the leftover money from the laundry room still. Now we're about to get really close to the part where I kind of cheated. So I love to landscape, right? I really have gotten into landscaping, and I realized after I'd finished it that I probably should have done a budget for the landscaping too, to go along with the challenge. I didn't do that. I ended up just giving myself, like, I think it was 5,000 simoleons, and then it was like 10,000 simoleons, and I just upped it to 50,000 simoleons. So that just kind of gives you an idea on how it was. Oh, here I added windows because it looked weird on like without windows being there. So I ended up moving the paintings around, and then I added the roofs. The roofing always is so hard for me because I just never know how to make it look nice, especially with like my boxy things. I think this house would have looked good with if it had a second floor. Maybe that will be the challenge for the next time I do this budget challenge. I'll just try to add a second floor. That'd be fun. Or, yeah. And then there could be a kid's bedroom upstairs with like a ladder, so it could be a second floor, but not really a second floor. Anyways, here's me working on this landscaping. So I have the little like flower boxes that I'm putting, and then I'm using the painter tool. I never paint inside the lines, but it doesn't look bad, so I never like touch it up. But I guess that's somewhat realistic. I mean, mulch only stays in for how long in your little container area. So here I am infesting the front with flowers, and honestly, I don't regret it whatsoever. I think it looks really nice. I feel like I could have done, I know you're probably going to be like, what the heck do you mean you could have done more? But I feel like I could have done more landscaping in terms of the backyard, even though there wasn't really a backyard. But like maybe adding a fence, I feel like would have been cute because the back is just so bland right now. And I try to add these little bushes to spice it up. Here, there's me giving myself a lot of money so that I'm able to 50,000, so I'm able to finish the bushes. But I feel like I should have done maybe a fence to add like more pizzazz, or a little garden area or something like that. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment on what you want me to do next. Adios!